What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about shoulder mobility, shoulder health, showing you guys what I do before every shoulder workout to ensure that I'm nice and prepped and primed and ready to go for my workout. The whole shoulder area is a very tender region. It's very susceptible to injury, especially in the rotator cuffs. I myself have suffered from tendonitis in the past because, and I spoke about this on my Instagram story, I talked about how when I first got into training, I couldn't care less about warming up before my workouts, making sure that I was properly firing up the muscles and getting everything going before getting into my workout. I just truly didn't care. I didn't have the information. I didn't know what to do. I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to get in there and train, and that was all good and fine when I was in my early 20s. I could get away with it, but now, being in my late 20s, I have paid the price. I suffered from some tendonitis a while ago, a couple of years ago, to the point where I couldn't train upper body for months, and it was something that I stupidly was training through and just thought if I ignored it, it would go away. But sadly, that is not the case with injuries. They get worse if we ignore them, and then bad things happen. So I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a physical therapist or anything like that. I'm just going to show you guys what I do for my shoulder day warm-ups because I have had issues in the past. It's something I take very seriously, and I always say, I didn't make this up. I saw it somewhere and it stuck with me to this day. If you don't have time to warm up, you don't have time to work out. Improving your shoulder mobility and really taking the time to warm up this entire area before training is so important. It's going to help improve our mobility, improve our range of motion and our movement patterns so that we're training with better form, more efficiently, and ultimately preventing injury, which is what we want to do. We want to train smart. We want to train with good form, good posture, and we can't do those things if we go from our car into the gym and just start shoulder pressing 50-pound dumbbells. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to work. It's not going to be fun, and we're eventually going to pay the price. So without further ado, if you are interested in seeing what I do for my dynamic shoulder warm-up, how I keep my shoulders healthy, and how I get them primed and ready to go before a workout, let's get into it. So the first thing that I always do before a shoulder day is start with some really light arm circles just to get the blood flowing. I'll start them off really small and then slowly get them bigger and bigger. And I don't really count this through or anything. I kind of just go with how I'm feeling, and then I will switch directions. Again, starting really small, getting bigger as we go. I'll probably do this for 15 to 20 seconds. Just keep switching directions and gradually increasing that range of motion. Shake that out. I'll do that a couple of times before I move on to anything else, but that's not something that I count reps for or anything like that. So after I do my little arm circles, I always move on to a PVC pipe pass through. But you don't have to use a PVC pipe. Sometimes I will use a resistance band, or because I'm home, I have a broom. So all of these things work perfectly fine if you are warming up your shoulders at home, which you should definitely be doing even if you're training from home. For a PVC pipe pass through, I'm gonna use a resistance band because it's a little smaller and I have limited space here. So if I'm using a resistance band, I will just get it to the point where it feels comfortable for me. I wanna mention, everybody's body mechanics are so different. Everybody's mobility is so different. Some people have to keep it super wide. The wider you go, the easier it is. The more you kind of bring your hands closer together, the more difficult it gets. So I will do 10 of these, and forward and back is 1. And if you can't get all the way around, if your mobility is not there yet, you can just go as far as you can go. And again, you can keep it as wide as you need to start, and then you can work your way up to getting that full range of motion. I will do 10 total. Again, forward and back is 1. I will do 2 to 3 sets of that, usually 3. I like to err on the side of more rather than less because I, for so many years, did less. And then I will take this same movement and do an around the world. We're gonna hinge at our hips, We're getting a side stretch down those lats. We're coming forward, going around, and then again, we're switching directions. Feels really good. And again, I will do about 5 circles one way, 5 circles the other way, 2 sets of that. And then we will move on to the band pull apart. One of my personal favorites, great way to wake up the middle back, the rhomboids, the rear delts. Core is engaged, back is nice and straight. I'm not arching, I'm not tucking. We're nice and straight here. I'm going to just kind of engage my rhomboids, and then we're pulling into our chest. Really getting that squeeze. I will do 15 of these, 2 to 3 sets. Really getting that squeeze, core is engaged, glutes are engaged, breathing through it. Okay, so we're down on the floor now. I'm going to show you guys a couple of different variations of a scapular push-up. This is going to help improve our scapular That is hard to say. This is going to help us improve our scapular stability. So because this is done in sort of a plank position, you're also engaging your core, which is going to help recruit all of those stabilizer muscles and get those firing as well. So I'm going to start by doing the more beginner-friendly version, which is from the hands and knees. Position here. My back is nice and straight. So we're stacking our joints, which means shoulder over elbow, elbow over wrist. Everything is in a nice straight line. And we're gonna push through our palms and all 5 of our fingers to lift up and extend through the lower trap. And then we're gonna drop it back down. My core is engaged. Really feeling that stretch through the upper back. So, if we want to make this a little more difficult, I can back up my knees and kind of get into as if I were to do an assisted push-up. So this just makes it a little more difficult. Again, we're stacking those joints. Everything is nice and straight, and I'm doing the same position, just with a little less help from the lower body. For the Scap push-ups, I typically do 2 sets of 10 to 15 reps. This is a fantastic way to get the shoulders warmed up, get those rotator cuffs and the scapula ready. Okay, and last but not least, we have some internal and external rotations. I'm gonna start by showing you a banded external rotation. So I'm gonna have my palms up. I'm just gonna put my hands where I feel is the appropriate amount of tension. I don't want it to be something super difficult, so I'm not gonna choke up because this is a heavier sort of band. So I'm just going to go about shoulder width apart, and then I'm keeping my elbows very tucked to my rib cage essentially. And I'm just gonna pull apart, opening up the front of that shoulder. Going nice and slow, keeping those elbows locked in place. This feels so nice. So I prefer doing these exercises with the resistance band rather than dumbbells, because the way that gravity works with dumbbells, the weight is actually pulling the muscle down. Even if we're pulling it to the side, we don't want that. We want it to strictly go across. So with the resistance band, the tension is exactly where I want it to be. Something that I'll do for 2 sets, 10 to 15 reps, depending on how I'm feeling. And similarly for an internal rotation, I would need something to hook this to, and I don't have that at the moment, so I'm just gonna show you as if I had a resistance band that was attached to something that won't move. So all you need to do is hook a resistance band to anything, and again, you're keeping that elbow nice and tucked, you're bringing it in, and then going back. Again, 2 sets of 10. So I'm going out, and then I'm going in. Or you can even do this from a wall as well. So if I were to stand right up against the wall, I'm putting my arm in a 90-degree angle, core is engaged, and I'm just rotating down and up. And again, this is gonna be different for everybody. It's gonna feel different for everybody. Our range of motion is different and unique to each of us, so keep that in mind. Warming up is so easy to do with just our body weight, but obviously it's very easy to get your hands on a resistance band if you go to the gym, or I'm sure so many of you have them at home by now, with all of us having to resort to home workouts in the past several months. So that's pretty much it. I will have the entire warm-up written down in the description box so you can screenshot it, take it to the gym with you. I hope this is so helpful to some of you. I know that when I posted about it on Instagram, I had a lot of feedback saying that this would be something helpful for you, so I hope that it is. I hope that you please take the time to warm up and recover before and after your workouts. It is so important. If you guys would like to see what I do post-workout, or if you'd like to see my leg day warm-up, please let me know. Give this video a thumbs up, and any other recommendations for warm-ups or recovery, drop them in the comments, and I am more than happy to help. Again, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a doctor. These are just some of the movements that have really helped me and changed the game for me in terms of my shoulder health. So anything that helps me, I want to relay to you, and maybe it'll help you too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Bye!